Welcome to the Spring Hill Mall in West Dundee and Carpentersville, Illinois. So the breakdown basically for how that works is that the former Sears wing, the former Macy's wing, and then the Cinemark are in West Dundee, while the Kohl's wing and the former Carson's wing are in Carpentersville. It's kind of a unique situation. Prior to the construction of Spring Hill Mall, there were three major shopping areas in this area. There was the Meadowdale Mall in Carpentersville, the Crystal Point Mall in Crystal Lake, and downtown Elgin was a lot better than it currently is today. The Crystal Point Mall would close in the 90s and was redeveloped into a power center that is now anchored by TJ Maxx, a Fresh Market, and Steinhafels. Downtown Elgin died out as a retail area, and it hasn't fully recovered still to this day. It's not dead, but it hasn't become what it once was. And Meadowdale shifted to cater toward more of the Hispanic community around, and instead of having clothing stores, they have Tractor Supply Company. In the mid-2000s, Randall Road and Algonquin began to rapidly develop with power centers and big box centers. In 2004, the Algonquin Commons opened 10 minutes away with a lot of the same stores that Spring Hill had. For a while, those stores would maintain duplicate locations at both shopping areas, but as their leases at Spring Hill Mall came to an end, those stores would close too. Right now, Kohl's, Aeropostale, Bath & Body Works, and Claire's still maintain duplicate locations between the two areas. All of the remaining life in the mall is centered in the former Sears wing, and the Carsons, the Macy's, and even the Kohl's wing are almost completely empty. The Carson's wing is by far the worst. They have the power turned off, and there's no music playing. It feels almost like you're in an abandoned space, like you're not even supposed to be here. For that Auntie Anne's and the Cinnabon, also located in Center Court, they're both listed as temporarily closed, but I don't really see a chance of them reopening. In July of 2021, the mall was sold to the Kohan Real Estate Investment Company. They are famous for buying dead malls really cheap and then not doing anything. No maintenance. Sometimes they don't even pay taxes while still collecting rent. When a mall is acquired by Kohan, it is never a good sign for the future of that property. With that, Spring Hill Mall is going to have to be redeveloped, and West Dundee and Carpentersville both put out statements quickly after Kohan acquired the mall, basically saying that. The mall lying in two villages also makes it a very unique situation that may be difficult. The center court of the mall is absolutely amazing, and with the fountain running and just the sound of water in the background, it's an amazing place to be. I really hope they don't shut the fountain off. Down this corridor is what used to be the JCPenney food court and Garner furniture wings. It was torn down in 2016 and replaced with a Cinemark movie theater. That whole redevelopment project ended up being a bit of a failure. They brought in new stores like Rue 21, H&M, and Victoria's Secret remodeled. All of them but Rue 21 closed this year in 2021. Then the outside part, they promised outdoor shops. Here's the rendering. Now compared to what was built, they built a concrete jungle. In front of the movie theater is a depressing and empty space. Like, if they're not going to build the outdoor shops, why don't they let people park in front of the movie theater? That would help the movie theater a little bit. It's a very awkward space, and it's not at all inviting. And even if it was built to completion, it still would have never been a very inviting space. This is a very beautiful mall, and it still felt very well kept, very clean, and well put together. I also really like the architecture with the natural wood grain aesthetic, and the floor has a lot of texture and character to it. The mall is very clean inside, and it's still being very well maintained. I saw no major maintenance issues. In 2021, Spring Hill was still a very beautiful mall. It must have been amazing to walk through these halls when they were all full. Right up here is the makeshift food court that is now just a Sbarro. This used to be located in the JCPenney wing, and before the renovation, it was full and pretty busy. Taking that out was definitely a big loss for the mall, and I think a huge mistake. Right now, we're taking a look at the Barnes & Noble store that is moving to the Algonquin Commons. This store was a big attraction for the mall, as it is the only Barnes & Noble in the entire area. And it was still pretty full. Everything was about 30% off. The record section was empty, but that's basically at every single Barnes & Noble. I always like going into Barnes & Noble stores. They're very cozy and just a very nice place to be. It's kind of sad to see one closing, though. I mean, they're moving, but the newer ones are smaller. They're just not the same. Barnes & Noble was by far the busiest store in the entire mall. Losing it could officially be the thing that kills Spring Hill for good. Kohl's, they had another store in Algonquin. It's 10 minutes away. They don't really need this one. For Barnes & Noble, that was like the last thing like people would come down here for and make a special trip to Spring Hill for. I guess there's Hot Topic still. But the Algonquin Commons has new ownership, and they're actively trying to fill up vacancies there too. I'm sure they're looking at Hot Topic, Foot Locker, and are like, hey, you guys could come over here now. I don't think there's much time left here at Spring Hill in its current form. It's a shame that it has to go out this way. Okay, this is what I mean about the Cinemark. They have this giant field in front of it, and you have to park really far away from it. It's a terrible setup. The parking lot is just now a giant sea of parking with potholes and damage throughout. It's never going to be filled again. Nobody wants to see Spring Hill Mall sit vacant for an extended period of time, but redeveloping it is not going to be an easy task. Going for it, the mall is centrally located in the area, and it is at a major confluence point of three major roads: Huntley Road, Illinois Route 72, and Illinois Route 31 all come together around Spring Hill Mall. And that does mean that there is a lot of traffic moving through this area. It's not like this mall is hidden or anything. This area is also pretty safe and not that far from the tollway either, so it's pretty easy to access. West Dundee's mayor said in a Facebook post representing the current situation of the mall this year that they will not allow any interim type facilities like a data center, an Amazon warehouse, or a exotic car storage facility. Spring Hill Mall is at the center of the village, and they need to be prepared to wait it out for something right to come here. Without a plan and an owner that's willing to say that they're going to do something, the mall will just sit in its current state until something else changes. Something else to consider is that Kohl's and Macy's and Sears still own their respective buildings at the mall. While Macy's and Sears probably don't care very much, there are certain covenants they can use for stores, what kind of stores go into the mall still. And without those anchor tenants all assembled, redeveloping the mall will be completely unattractive and I think nearly impossible. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I know it was a long one, but I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you'd like to watch another video, there are more videos on the screen now. As always, thank you.